This is Gemara in Gittin Daf Ayin, and we're holding on Samach Tes Amid Beis. 5 lines from the bottom. The final 2 words on the line are Litzimra Barot, continuing the medicinal remedies from the Gemara. Says the Gemara, what do you do for Litzimra Bara, an external fever? Lazy tlasa garivi sufle. We take 3 sa of a sufle of date pits. Utlasa garivi atrav adara. And 3 some measures of some type of leaves, either leaves of adara, v'nashaklinu kol chad lechudei. Boil each one separately, v'leisev beinayu, and sit between them, v'losfinu b'tartei mishichli. So sit between them and put these items that you just boiled into 2 different bowls. Bring a small table and put it over the bowls. One second. And put the table on top of it and rest for a while on the table. And then then get up from above the bowls of elusive aluyeh high, and then go and sit down above the other bowls. So you're sitting on top of one bowl, and then you're going to rest on top of the next bowl. And you're going back and forth from bowl to bowl, sitting on top of them. Until the vapor, till the hevel from the bowls enter into the body. Wash with those waters and drink from them. But when you drink, only drink from the one with the eater leaves. Don't drink from the other bowl. Cause it can cause one to not be able to have children afterwards. That's how one would get rid of a fever. Litzimra gavna, for an internal fever, different types of fevers. Lazy shiva abuni, on the last line here of Samach Tes Amid Beis, you bring 7 fistfuls, the silka of dates, mishev mishare, from 7 different beet beds, v'nishaklinu ba'afraya. And what do? You boil them with the earth, v'nechal, and you eat them. V'nishtaf atraf adara b'shechra. And drink a mixture of these leaves, these eater leaves again, b'shechra, with beer. What else what's another option? Inve ta'ala b'maya. Or grapes of a vine over a palm tree together with water. So those are the fevers, and how do we deal with them? And we continue on Ayin Amid Aleph. Says the Gemara, more diseases. Lecha zazsa, for one has skin diseases, the moist skin eruption. What does he do? Lacy. One second, let's get the page straight. There we go. Lacy shave chiti arzanaisa, 7 wheat kernels, v'naklinu amara chadata, and roast them on a new metal shovel, v'nafak, and v'nafak mishcha, and from these seeds the oil will ooze out, minayu v'neishaf, and you take that oil and you rub it on the skin issue. Rav Simi Barashi, avad leilahu akum. Rav Simi Barashi did this to a certain idol, a guy that had this skin disease, ledavar achar, for leprosy, v'isti, and he was healed as well. Amar Shmuel, says Shmuel, Ayman demachu lei ba'aloi nechei defarso. A spear of a Persian spear cuts through his skin. Mechai loy chaye. He's not going to live. Adahachi va'achi, but before he dies, nesfu la bisra shemena. You should give him fatty meat that was agumre v'chamra chaya, roasted on coals and undiluted wine. Efshir the chay porta, maybe he'll live a little bit. Umafkid abbas abesei. And in the meantime, he'll be able to live a little bit longer. He can instruct his family what to do after his death. Amar Avidi bar Rav Naiman, tebala zibura. If someone swallowed a zibura, a bee, a hornet, he's not going to live. What can he do for the short interim before he succumbs to the hornet bite, Nashke Raviyasa the Chalik could drink a Ravias of vinegar, Shamzug, strong vinegar, Efsher the Chayaporta, Umavkin Lebeisi, about to live a little bit and instruct his house. Amar Rav Yeshua ben Levi, and the second medium-sized line, Achal Bisra, Achal Basar Shar, someone eats the shar meat bilefes with turnips and vilan bilavna belele yodalid, and he sleeps bilavana under the moon on the night of the 14th of Tezvav bitkufas tamiz in the Tammuz season achzase achilu. He's in a disease called achilu, could grab hold of him. Tana, we learned in a brayse of Amalei Krisa Mikol Davar, if someone fills up his stomach from anything, one who overeats, achazaso achilu as well, this disease called achilu could take him over. Amar Papa afilu mitamri. Even if he just has too many dates, it's the matter of overeating that causes disease to take hold of him. Says Reb Shita, shkoyach dates. Why would dates be any different? Explains the Gemara. Sal gedei techamina hayel va'amar mar tamri mishivim tamri masbin dates satiate umishchanon. They warm the body, umishashlan, and they loosen the bowels, umishashrin v'loy mafankin. They give energy and they don't spoil. So emaloi sounds like dates are excellent for the body. So maybe one would think even eating too many, kamashlan, that's our papa's chiddush, that there's no such thing. Every item there is a limit of how much one should eat. Says the Gemara, okay, mayachilu, what's this disease we're discussing? Rav Lazar, eish shelat samois, fire of the bones. Mayish shelat samois. Amar Abaya, eish garmi, bone fire. Mayasute, what is the remedy? Amar Abaye, Amar Li'em, again quoting his mother, which wasn't really the mother, but was the nurse that raised him. Kulu shakyone talasa v'shiva teresa. All other medicines you take on the 3, 7, or 12 days. But if someone has zachilu adamase kulu, you have to take it until the entire person is cured. Adamase adamise kulu. So what do you take? Shakle adamitase, excuse me. Kulu shakyone alibarekane. All other medicines you could take on an empty stomach. But this medicine, basadachal, you take after you eat. Vishasin, you drink. Vayalabes akisin, you go to the bathroom. V'nafik, you go out. Umasha yadin, you wash your hands. Umezule buna deshita ditlavche, and he brought him a fistful of lentil porridge. Ubuna techamra atika, and a fistful of aged wine. V'nega blinhu ba'adi adadi v'nechal, and he kneads them together and he eats it. V'nikraich bisadine, wraps himself in blankets. V'nigne, and he goes to sleep. And he's in a sweat, of course. V'leika tinukmi adikoi min avshei. No one should wake him until he gets up on his own. V'chikai, and when he gets up, lishkalei sadina minei, take the sheets off of him. V'iloi hadar luyeh. If you don't take off the sheets right away, the disease could come back. Amar le Eliyahu l'Rav Nosson. So the Gemara continues with some good eating habits for good health. So Eliyahu tells Rav Nosson. We're approximately 15 lines into the wide lines. The first one in line is Achal. Says Eliyahu Hanavi. What should he do? Achal shlish. You should eat a third. V'shasa shlish. And you should drink a third. And this is a third of your capacity that you're able to drink and eat. V'hanach shlish. And leave a third of your stomach empty. And therefore, if you get angry, you'll be filled to your capacity. Anger makes you be filled, says Rashi, and therefore, if your stomach is full and there's no room for the anger, kilu, then you're going to get sick when you get angry. But if your stomach is not full, then you have a little bit of extra room for the natural anger. I don't think this means anything crazy. Continues the Gemara, you want to not get sick with your stomach, Ragel, Betibol, Kayit, V'chayref, should be ragel, should be accustomed to dipping both in the summer and the winter, sudascha, your meals, sha'anascha mimenu, the meals that give you pleasure, mishoich yodcha, amenu. Excuse me. You should be rugged, but if you should always dip your food, your bread and wine and vinegar, both in the summer and the winter. And it's sudascha, sha'anascha mimenu, and your meals that give you pleasure, mishoich yodcha, amenu. Do not pull your hands away. Don't eat too much. And don't delay when you have to use the bathroom. Multiple items that one could do in order to keep that he doesn't get a stomach ailment. Amar Marukva continues the Gemara. Amar Marukva Hayman Deshasi Tilya. One who drinks white Tilya Chivra. White tilya, chazasai, vitek. He could get vitek, he could become feeble. Rav Chisda, continue Rav Chisda, shita mini chamra have. There are 60 types of wine. Malu the kulu sumka richasana. The greatest, the best wine is the aromatic red. Geria the kulu, the worst of all. Lemitilya, chiyura is this white tilya that we were discussing. Rav Yehuda Ayman, the Yosef, Bitzif Ranei. Nisan Gavinura, one who sits near a fire on Nisan mornings. This is in the winter, obviously. Well, we call it spring. V'shayef mishcha, and rubs himself with oils and afik v'yasef b'shimshan, and goes out and sits in the sun. Achzasei vitek. He also could get seized by this vitek, by this feebleness, by this feeling that he's losing his strength. Tana Rabbanan, hek is dam. If someone lets blood, v'shimish mitasai, and right after letting blood, he has relations. He could have children that are vitkin. Again, feeble, not healthy children. If both husband and wife let blood v'shimshu, and then they have relations, have lebanim, bali rason, their children, Rachmana litzlan, could be affected with rason, which is a type of disease that, again, is even more extreme, excessive secretions for the body, etc. It's only if after one night's blood he doesn't eat something, there is no problem. Of course, this is where it comes from. Everyone knows after you let blood, you drink something, high sugar drinks, grape juice and whatnot. As we see, the Gemara here says that there is a sakana if one does not take care of himself after such an endeavor. Continues Rabbi Avuna, ba min aderech. Someone comes from the journey, someone just finished traveling, v'shimish mitasai, and right away he sleeps with his wife, and again it could cause feeble children. Tana Rabbanan, continues the Gemara, Rabbanan based like Kisei, someone comes to the bathroom. Right away, Ali Sham Shmitasai, he should not be together with his wife, Achisha Shir Chatzi Mil, until he waits the amount of time to walk a half a mil, but because the shadim and the Beis HaKisei accompany him from the bathroom. And of course, nowadays that our bathrooms are not outhouses, are not the same issue of shadim. This issue would not be as prevalent. And if one does not listen and he has relations, he could have epileptic children. Tana Rabbanan continues the Gemara, someone who has relations standing up, the child could have, he could have severe cramps. Miyushav, if someone has relations sitting down, achzasai delaria, he could get the disease called delaria, which the Gemara is going to explain in a minute. He lamalav, she is on top, he lamat, and he is below. Achzasa delaria, again, he can get this disease. My delaria says, what is it? Delaria, I remember Shubin Levi, Sam. Dilaria dardara. An antidote for delaria is dardara. Says Gemara Shkoich, my dardara, Amarbaya Marika dechuchi. This is saffron that grows amongst the wild thorns. Rapapa alis ubalale. Rapapa would chew the saffron and swallow it. Rapapi alis v'shadile, and then spit it out. Different remedies in order to make sure that one does not get sick from these different actions. Amarbaya Mishena Baki Baderech Eretz. Someone is not a Baki. Someone is not proficient, b'derech eretz, which the Mefarshim explained means he is impotent. Leisei gimel kapize koratami. What should he do? He should bring 3 kapiza to measurement of saffron that what kortama dechuchi that grew in the wild. V'noi v'kortami dechuchi v'nishaklinhu. Or v'nidakinu v'nashaklinu b'chamra v'nishte. Grind them up, boil them, and drink the mixture. V'nishti. Amar Rav Yechon, continues Rav Yechon. Heidin chazirun l'narusi. This is what returned the potency of my youth. He did this, and he was able to once again be able to have children. Continues the Gemara. We're at the We're at the two dots, approximately 13 lines from the Y lines. First one line is Yochanan. There are three, and just to comment on the previous Gemara, it is a large discussion whether these diseases still apply nowadays, whether it is an issue. Of course, there's always the element of sneas when it comes to Tashmish Hamita, but whether one has to be concerned about all the other things is a large discussion amongst the Mefarshim, the Paiskim, etc. Continues the Gemara, three things cause one to be weak. Someone has anxiety, he travels and he does Averos. Pachad, what is that? That his strength leaves him. That different Averos can cause one to become weak. And the Gemara continues that there are three things. That what do? They literally destroy the body. If someone eats standing up, he drinks standing up, and he has relations standing up. So no, it does not say you'll have fat feet, but it does say that it is not healthy to eat and drink standing. Continues the Gemara, 5 things cause something close to death. More than life. Achal v'amad, he eats and he right away stands up. Shasa, he drinks v'amad, he stands up right away. Hikizdam v'amad, yashan v'amad, shimish midas v'amad. If any of these things he stands up right after doing them, it could cause severe issues. Shisha, 6 entities, Isa, son of someone does them. Miyan meis, misa is right away. Ve'eluin abava derech, if someone comes to the road, v'nisti ageya, and he is exhausted, he's worn out, hikizdam, he gives blood, v'nichlas v'isa merchatz. And he enters the bath. He drinks in the shtakir, drunk. Sleeps on the ground. And he has relations. These 6 items together could cause death. Says Rav Yochanan, it is in this order, in this progression. He comes, he's exhausted, he gives off blood, he goes to shower, he drinks, he's drunk, he sleeps on the ground, and then he has relations. That's when it could bring death. Still not a good thing, says Abaye. Chalash, it causes one to be weak. Aini asked the Gemara, but Muras did only 3 of these things, and he died. Rahman al-Tzana. Says Gemara, then Muras, that slave, she was frail to begin with, and therefore it's no raya from her. Continues the Gemara, 5 lines to the end of Ayin Amar Aleph Shemaina, 8 entities, Ruban Kash, a lot of them is bad, and Miyotin Yafeh, a little bit of them is okay. Beluain, Derech, traveling, V'derech Eretz, referring to having relations, Aisher, wealth, Malacha, and work, Yayin, wine, Shin, and sleep, Chamin, having hot liquids, because it's dam, giving blood. So these entities, a little bit of them are good for them, but too many of them could harm the body. Shemaina, 8 entities, Mamatin, is a zera, causes one to have a decrease in his zera, in his semen, Viluin, Amelech, salt, Varoiv, not having enough food, Vanotek, and Nesek is the type of, vegetation, type of saras, Bechia, crying, Vishina, Gabrikarka, sleeping on the ground, Gondis, and eating coriander, v'kashos, shaloi bizman, and hops not at the right time, v'kizdam limata kiflayim, and letting blood below the waist is twice as harmful. Then we learned in the Mishnah, on the last line, Shem shekasha lamata kiflayim, just like letting blood from below is as harmful as 2 different times. Kachiyafa lamayla kiflayim, giving blood is beneficial above as 2 different times. Amar Abba continues Abba. Lamata, what does it mean lamata? We keep saying from below, Lashon Naki, but what exactly says Rabba? We have to know what is the precise definition as we turn over to Ayin Amid Bey. Says Rabba, lamata is lamata min ha-beitzim, it means under the beitzim, under the testicles, and lamala is lamala min ha-beitzim. If one has these hops not in the right season, we learned to the Mishnah, just like they're harmful not in the right season. Kach yafa if bizmana. Amar Papa Zamana is tamush, shloi bizmana is tevis. Yomi Nisav, Yomi Tishrei, when you're in the middle months, lo ma'aluv lo yikashu, then I couldn't, nor are they bad. And now we go back to the Mishnah. Amar Kisu galishti vachsu kardaikis. Someone says to write again for his wife, and then Kordaikis sees is him. And then he says, don't write it for my wife. The latter words is nothing. Amar Rav Shimon ben Lakish. Kaisvin v'noisnin get la'alter. Says Rish Lakish, the shliach could write and give the get right away, even while the husband has this Kordaikis, this siege of Rav Yochanan. Amar, no. What does it mean that the shliach could write the get? It's only after the husband becomes better. Says the Gemara, my time of the Reish Lakish, the latter words are nothing, and therefore he's allowed to give the get right away. Ein bidvarav achronim klum. It's true that he's still a shliach to give the get, delachi mitzal, but that's only when he becomes better. He doesn't have to tell him again to give the get. However, says Rav Yochanan could only give the get when he gets better. So ask the Gemara, what exactly is this machlekes Rav Yochanan and Reish Lakish? B'maikam ifli 10 lines down, ayin amid beis. The first one in line is kaisvin. B'maikam ifli, what is the machlekes Reish Lakish? Medam elei liyashein. Reish Lakish equates the person with seizures to like one who is sleeping. Rav Yochanan medam elei l'shaita. Asks the Gemara in the classical Gemara game of ping pong, Rav Yochanan medam elei yashein. Why does Rav Yochanan not agree to Reish Lakish that it's like someone sleeping? Answers Rav Yochanan yashein loy mechuser ma'isa. So who is sleeping doesn't lack in action, just has to wake up. But hi, this guy that's having seizures, mechuser ma'isa, he requires medicines and whatnot to heal him. Reish Lakish asks the Gemara back, namim dam l'shaita. Why doesn't Reish Lakish hold of Rav Yochanan that it's like a person without a das? Says Reish Lakish, shaita lo samya biyad. On a shaita, you can't necessarily get better. We don't know of a cure. But hi, this guy with kordikis, this guy with the seizures, samya biyadan, we know how we could cure him. What is the cure? Bisa sumka gumra v'chamra marka, which is lean meat broiled on coals and drink watered down wine. Says the Gemara. So Rav Yochanan just told us that it was like one who was a shaita. Ask the Gemara, "Mi Rav Yochanan hachi? Does Rav Yochanan really hold this? Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Shmuel, shachad b'shnayim Rav Shnayim. If a person's throat, Rahman al-Islam, got severed between 2 or 3 of the simanim of Ramaz, and he makes a hint, Amar kisu gele ishti areilu, yichtvu v'yitnu. We listen to him and we write the get. V'tanya, we learned in a brayso, ruya miguya v'yitzalav al tzliva. If we see a person cut up or hanging on a gallows, and this person in this state close to death, Ramaz, and he hints Vamar, and he says, kisu gele ishti areilu. What do we do? Yichtvu v'yitnu. We do right and give it to him. So ask the Gemara, why in this case when someone is mortally wounded? Does Rav Yochanan say, we listen to him? And yet in our case, when the guy is achsisik ardaikis, Rav Yochanan said you have to wait for him to get better. Steer Rav Yochanan. Answers the Gemara, hachi ashta. Hasam daita selusahi. Over there, he might be about to die, but his mind is clear. He's just getting very, very weak. In our case that he has these seizures, he does not have a clear das. Ask the Gemara, Umi Amar Shmuel Hachi. Does Shmuel say this? Shmuel was the previous din in which he said that you're allowed to listen to the person that is about to die and give the get. Hachi Amar Rav Yehuda Shmuel. And the person runs away. We testify about him, and we could marry his wife. So what do we see? We see that he has a chazaka that he is dead. But if you're going to tell me that instead of someone being alive, why would he testify about him and allow his wife to remarry? Answers the Gemara, no, Amru Chayu. Right now, he has the din that he's alive, and that's why Shmuel says he can give a get of Sefer Lamavos. He's going to die. 2 lines on the wide lines. If this is true, then one who does such a scenario, one who cuts 2 or 3 of the simanim of his friend, he should have to go to Golos because it's considered that he killed them. Alama Tanya. What is the reason? We learned to the Brayso Shachbo Shnayim or Rav Shnayim and someone by mistake cuts through 2 or majority of 2 of the simanim. He's Einai Gal. It doesn't go to Galus. Why not? Seemingly because the person is going to live. But you just told me Sefer Lamos. Answers the Gemara on the first wide line. Itmar Allah Amar Rav Aishia Chayshinan Shema Ruach Abel Basai. We're worried that the wind, the air, is that which caused him to die, and that's why one would not go to Galus. Inami who Kirov Esmi Sasai, or he on his own by thrashing around caused his death to become closer, and therefore says the Gemara, you're not going to go to Galus if one does such an action. Maybe now, what's the difference in these 2 answers? Whether it's the air that killed him, whether it's him thrashing around. The Kabbalah says the Gemara. With this, we conclude the Shachle Bebesi the Shisha. If he shachted him in a marble house, upirchis, and he thrashed around. So the marble house is no air, but he thrashed around. So according to the second opinion, he caused his death to come closer. According to the first opinion, there's no air, and therefore you would have to go to Galus. You shachted him outside, and he didn't move around, so there is the air, there's no thrashing around. That's going to be the nafkamina between the 2 opinions when one will indeed go to Galus for shechting, of course, on a purpose, b'shayeg, 2 or 3 simanim of the person. We're going to stop over here. I'll pick it up from the Shtatek in the next year, b'siyata dishmaya.